Hello, hello. Welcome to Conceptember. This month we're talking about concept albums. For the whole month of September, the 4 weeks of September, we're talking about concept albums, and the first concept album we're talking about, it's a big one. We're talking about Genesis's 1974 double album monolith, The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. Now, there is a history segment for this episode, but I'm going to keep it brief. Genesis had a very successful 1973 and 1974 tour, and they went into, I believe, Headley Grange to record. If you listen to them talk about the state of Headley Grange at the time, there were rats and shit. I guess Led Zeppelin had been there before them and hadn't quite cleaned up. Or maybe nobody had been there for like a year or two. Anyway, basically, Headley Grange was a clusterfuck. There were rats all over the place. So they were writing and recording this album. Peter Gabriel decided he was going to write all of the lyrics, and all the musicians were going to write all of the music, which, there's no way that could cause conflicts. So anyway, that started causing conflicts. Also, part of the problem is they decided that they were going to make this album a double album, and they had a strict deadline, that they had to meet by November of 74. I'm pretty sure, they had to, have the album out. It was just, it was a race against the clock. Peter Gabriel's daughter had just been born and was having all kinds of complications. Peter Gabriel was also in talks with the guy who made The Exorcist. So he was, so there was all kinds of shit going on that basically led to something I will talk about after the album review. But when the album did finally release in November of 1974, people bought it in droves, and they went to see the very elaborate stage show, which the rest of the band, apart from Peter Gabriel, were, all having, their own gripes with, saying it was getting a bit ridiculous. But anyway, it's time to talk about the album. The album starts with the title track, which has this incredible piano intro, of course, played by the very, very talented Tony Banks, with there's a sound effect of a fly. That piano intro then, explodes into a flurry of Genesis excellence. There's these amazing scene-setting lyrics and, this high-tempo setup. One of the best album openers of all time, talking about, there's this lamb, imaginary or real, either way, it lies down on Broadway, and this is seen by our main character, Rail, who's apparently a Puerto Rican punk. I don't know where the Puerto Rican part comes from. I believe that only comes from interviews or maybe the internal sleeve. But basically, this whole album is the story of a Puerto Rican punk who lives in New York City. It doesn't feel like it takes place in New York City for a lot of this, but okay. And he's literally described as a punk, and I'm not just calling him that. I'm not saying that the character of Rail is a dickhead. But yeah, so Rail sees this, and it starts him on this weird, spiritual journey, I guess. Song number 2, Fly on the Windshield, which the title track cleanly transitions into Fly on the Windshield. It's got this lower tempo to start. There's this atmosphere has changed. Rail is experiencing some weird shit. And then it punches you in the face with this awesome, atmospheric, hard rock for Genesis jam, and then that cleanly transitions into the Broadway medley of 1974, where we've got more scene-setting lyrics describing, the people and things that Rail sees as his journey begins. He sees, Lenny Bruce and Howard Hughes and, people smoking, and it's just a bunch of crazy, seedy shit going down in New York, which would have been going down in New York in 1974. Song number 4, Cuckoo Cocoon. Rail is now in a cocoon. You know, in a weird place. He knows he's not dead. But that's pretty much all he knows at this point. The music is cool. A lot of these songs are very brief. Some of them are also very long. But song number 5, here we go. In the Cage, which is 8 minutes of pure Genesis jizz-worthy excellence. Just, you know, the tempo is high and it doesn't stop. And, you know, Peter Gabriel is really throwing his all into the vocals, man. Like, he is really throwing his all. Rail, the character of Rail, is in a cage, in a cave, or maybe a cage made out of the cave. I don't know. And then the character of Rail's brother John shows up, and there's just in a just awesome musical moment. John does not have any dialogue in this whole album, in this whole hour and 34-minute long album. Yeah, this video is gonna be a long one, folks. Strap in. But yeah, it's just, you know, this awesome musical moment, and that ends side 1. And that's part of the problem is I just really gushed over the song In the Cage. In the Cage is the second best song on the album, or sometimes the best, depending on my mood. It's the 5th song. We're 20 minutes in. Yeah, this album kind of blows its load too early a little bit. Song number 6, The Grand Parade of Lifeless Packaging. You know, this is the first of 2 sort of comedic songs on the album. This is about, I believe, waiting for food in New York delis, I think. I really don't know. And again, that's going to be a phrase I say a lot. I really don't know what goes on for a lot of this album. I've looked up the story. I still don't really understand what happens. Song number 7, Back in New York City. Rail has re-entered the city briefly. I'd probably know what the fuck was happening if the production wasn't so bad that Pete was buried under, you know, a bunch of sound effects and, you know, his bandmates' instruments. This version, which is how I listened to the album for this video, this version that I'm holding is the 2007 remaster, which is notoriously dog shit. I don't think that's a problem born out of the 2007 remaster. This being the 2007 remaster certainly doesn't help this problem, but this is a Genesis problem. This is a problem that was heard on the 94 remasters of a lot of their albums. So, yeah. The music is cool. Rail isn't interested in having a girlfriend. That's a misinterpretation on my part. I think it's the idea is that women are not interested in Rail at this point in the story. So here we go. Song number 8. Hairless Heart, which is a weird fucking title for anything. If your heart has hair in it, go see a doctor. This is our first instrumental. It's a nice break from the last couple songs have had mile-a-minute lyrics, and it's helped by the fact that it's driven by Tony and Steve, which is a very rare thing. Tony Banks and Steve Hackett are the main driving force of Hairless Heart, and it's a brief thing, but it's nice, it's cool, and it's nice to kick back. Song number 9, Counting Out Time. This is the second comedic song. Rail attempts to pick up a girl by literally going by the book. He goes to a bookstore, purchases a book on how to pick up women, and follows the steps in that book. And it goes poorly, and I don't know if it works for him or if it goes poorly for him. It's implied that he does get to do some sex in this song. He has sex, I think, 3 times over the course of this album, and this is the third one. And this is the first one. So he goes by the book. I don't know if it works for him. Either way, he angrily returns the book. And here we come to song number 10, the second to last song on disc 1, The Carpet Crawlers. This is the best song on the album, folks. It's just, like, I cannot describe it. If there's any song from this album you should listen to, it's definitely this one. This went on to be a staple in Genesis set lists for a very long time. It was even the last song they performed in 2022. So, yeah. This is one of the best Genesis songs ever. Rail has returned to whatever weird fucking realm he was in before his return back in New York City. With other, I think, lost souls. This song honestly doesn't make a whole lot of sense, either in context of the album or outside of the context of this album. And the instrumentation it's weird. It's hard to describe. It's like dense, but also light. And then the tempo is also simultaneously fast and slow. I don't know how to describe it. You just gotta listen to it for yourself. It's like 5.5 minutes. It's great. It is kind of the same thing for those 5 minutes, but it's a really cool thing for those 5 minutes. Song number 11, the last song on disc 1, The Chamber of 32 Doors. This is the chamber mentioned in The Carpet Crawlers. The song opens like it's the end of a song, if that makes any kind of sense. Rail is surrounded by all these different kinds of people, and they're all giving him different advice and trying to get him to follow them, and he doesn't know who to trust. The instrumental of this kind of implies that it's the end of the album, but it's only the end of disc 1. And here's the thing, if this album was only disc 1, and I'm not talking, pick and choose a couple of songs from, side 2, and, then you have a perfect single album. I am not saying that at all. If this album was solely side 1, it would be a very weird fucking concept album. It would be a fucking great listen, and it would be a guaranteed buy it from me. But unfortunately, we're only halfway through. Song number 12, Lily White Lilith. What the fuck? Lily White Lilith. It's got this, it's a raucous side 3 opener. It's got a nifty solo. Rail has escaped the chamber and has entered, I believe, another cave cage. I believe he was enticed to follow the character of Lily White Lilith, who is only in this song. The instrumental is fucking great. Again, great song. Song number 13, The Waiting Room. This is basically weird noises for 3 minutes, and then, like, actual cool music for the last 2 minutes. It's very cool music for the last 2 minutes. Those first 3 minutes of this song, not really worth it. And I will explain, at the end of this review, I will explain how you improve the lamb. But, yeah. Song number 14, Anyway. I don't know what's happening. The music is, cool, but not consistently keeping my attention. But it does have a cool guitar solo. Yeah. It's just another instrumental. It's very brief. But it's there. Let's see. Song number 15. Here Comes the Supernatural Anesthetist. It's got really cool music that I don't know what the fuck happens during. It's weird. The Supernatural Anesthetist is apparently such a financier. I don't know. Song number 16, The Lamia. Rail has escaped the waiting room and has come across a room full of sexy snake women, and decides, you know what? I know I already had sex today. I'm gonna do it again. So he has sex with the lamia. They die, and he eats them. I could not make this up if I wanted to, folks. This is what happens. Song number 17, Silent Sorrow and Empty Boats. This is another instrumental. It's a nice break from the weird shit we've just heard for the last couple songs. and the borderline incoherent lyrics. And this song is very tranquil. This is the one instrumental that I would keep on this album. It's very, very cool. Maybe the one on side one, or disc one, rather. Song number 18, The Colony of Slippermen. It's got this weird-ass intro. The song really gets going 2 minutes in. Rail has come across a colony of Slippermen and decides, you know what? I still got juice in the tank. Fucks them again, and then they slice off his penis. And he becomes one of the Slippermen. And the only way to solve this problem is to have his penis reattached by a doctor. So he goes on a quest with his dick, which is now in this plastic tube around his neck. So he goes on a quest to find a doctor. And then, song number 19, and then a raven fucking steals his penis and drops it into a river. What the fuck? It's so weird. It's weird. Like, this is... Oh my... It's weird. Again. Song number 19, Ravine. This is another soundscape. I'm assuming Rail is watching his dick float away. Down the river. Never to be seen again. Yeah. Song number 20, The Light Dies Down on Broadway. Rail, he's on a quest. He must get his cock back. I am not making that up. And then a cavity opens in the gorge, in the gorge's wall to reveal New York. Rail could quit this journey now, or save his brother John, who's also now floating down the river. I guess he was also in the colony of Slippermen. I don't know, man. He could finish his, he could quit now, he could return to New York, or he could save his brother John, and he chooses option 2. He goes to save his brother John, he makes the right decision. Song number 21, Riding the Scree. This is mostly instrumental. This is the final, extended instrumental portion of the album. I'm finally getting invested again. He's he's going after John, and, guess what? Song number 22, In the Rapids, the album finally feels like it's wrapping up. Rail saves John. Either that or they both die. Either way, it is kind of an optimistic end, if they survive or die, because they've gone through this weird fucking spiritual journey, I guess, underneath New York. It's just insane. My phone, the house phone is ringing for some reason, but anyway. Song number 23, It. We finally got to the end. I don't know what the lyrics in this song are about. It feels like the end, it feels like the music that plays at the end of a play where everyone is cheered for, where everybody comes out of the curtains and everybody is cheered for. I know this is going to sound like a weird verdict considering the fact that I sounded uninterested or unsure or just totally baffled by what the fuck was going on most of Disc 2. But I'm serious. Go buy this. Go buy this album. Do not stream it. Or if you are going to stream it, look it up on YouTube. I'm sure you could find it very, very easily there. Or wait for the 2025 remaster to come out. It's coming out within a couple days of this video. This album cover was one of very few Genesis album covers to be done by Hypnosis of Pink Floyd fame. This is what the back looks like. The inside looks pretty cool. So, yeah, just do not listen to the 2007 remaster of any Genesis album, but especially the Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, and then number 3. And then number 3 is kind of dog shit. This logo would go on to be used for Genesis stuff for many years to come. So, yeah. How would I improve the Lamb? Basically cut a bunch of the instrumentals. You could easily lose like 10 minutes. If this album was an hour and 24 minutes long, as opposed to an hour and 34 minutes long, I would probably be able to listen to it better. I might understand it more because I might have more incentive to listen to it more frequently. Because I have listened to this album 7, 8, 9 times. I still don't know what the fuck is happening for half of it. But I will stress that side 1 is phenomenal. Now, unfortunately, this album, stays out of those top 5 Genesis albums for me. Well, not quite. Well, no, not quite. It stays out of those, like, I don't know, like that. Like, it stays out of those top 3 Genesis albums for me because of, just because of side 2. Just because of side 2, man. Nothing, it gets confusing. There's very few cool songs on side 2, or on disc 2. Disc 2 on its own is a pretty great album. At the very least instrumentally, if the lyrics don't make any kind of sense, but, instrumentally, Disc 2 is a very good album, and it's unfortunate that it's paired with this very good, first album, which contains one of the best sides of anything I've ever heard. But, yeah. At the conclusion of the Lamb Lies Down on Broadway tour, after all of the conflicts, Peter Gabriel would leave in 1975, leaving Phil Collins to take the mic, and he would do that. But, yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. Go buy this. Go buy this. Not the 2007 remaster, though. Anything but that. But, yeah. And if you don't want to commit to the full hour and 34 minutes, listen to, listen to the first 3 songs, In the Cage, The Carpet Crawlers, Back in New York City, and The Lamia. So, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you all very much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that bullshit. If you want to hear me talk about something other than music, I have a podcast with 2 of my buddies. It's called Dorkies. I will leave a link to the most recent episode of that in the description down below. And if you want to know what I happen to be listening to that day, or a brief segment at least, I post that on my Instagram story every single day. I will leave a link to that in the description down below. And with that, I would like to thank you all very much for watching, and remember to stay weird and keep jamming. See you in the next one, which will be a review of The Who's Tommy. Bye-bye.